New developments in South suburban Dalton today. First, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial reports.
You could feel the anger tonight at a Board of Trustees meeting in Thornton Township. The board and citizens looking for accountability to their finances while the township...
Dixon Mayor Tiffany Henyard is back in the headlines, but not for her official duties. Despite earning around $300,000 a year, reports reveal she is facing eviction due to several months of unpaid rent. This situation raises questions about how a public official with such a substantial salary can struggle to meet basic financial obligations. As more details emerge, the story grows increasingly complex and troubling, prompting many to wonder how Henyard found herself in this predicament.
But it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. But like I said,
Reports indicate that Dixon Mayor Tiffany Henyard is 3 months behind on her rent, which is surprisingly modest at around $1,100 per month. Given her substantial salary of approximately $300,000, it's perplexing that she struggles with such a basic expense. The lease also lists Cal Woods as her associate, raising questions about whether this is a subletting situation or something more complex. Things have taken a convoluted turn, as Henyard and Woods were given 5 days to vacate the property following an eviction notice filed on September 18th, citing about $350 in back rent. Henyard's attorney quickly intervened, claiming the eviction was based on false pretenses. This statement leads to further speculation. Did Henyard never sign the lease, or is there a misunderstanding about her rent payments? The controversy continues to grow, leaving many to wonder about the nature of their financial arrangement and management. With so many unanswered questions, this situation is likely to spark even more debate as the story unfolds, casting a shadow over Henyard's leadership and financial practices.
And that is the finding of an investigation of village finances and the spending habits of beleaguered Mayor Tiffany.
Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, is once again making headlines, but this time for troubling financial practices that have drawn public scrutiny. This eviction, her latest predicament, highlights concerns about her management of public funds. Previously, she faced charges of embezzling funds for personal indulgences, lavish vacations in Las Vegas, renting expensive cars, and organizing costly street parties, all amounting to tens of thousands of dollars. Just last month, she hosted another street party, further solidifying her reputation amidst growing concern from residents about her financial oversight. It raises serious questions about how someone with her experience in handling large sums could overlook paying rent for 3 months. Could this be a sign of deeper financial instability, or is there a more calculated reason behind her failure to meet such a basic obligation? Some speculate she might be positioning herself as a victim, suggesting that if she were truly misappropriating funds, she wouldn't be struggling to pay her rent. Public court records reveal a troubling legal background for Henyard, with numerous lawsuits, some dating back to 2012 involving personal debts and bank loans. This history complicates her current eviction situation, which is now intertwined with her legal troubles. There are even rumors that she may not actually reside in the house she's about to be evicted from, with insiders suggesting it could be a trap house for illegal activities. Adding to the intrigue, reports claim she and her associate, Cal Woods, have refused property inspections, raising suspicion about what they might be hiding. Henyard's financial mismanagement has ripple effects that extend far beyond her personal life, drawing attention to serious concerns within her administration. Allegations have surfaced regarding the mishandling of public grants, including funds intended for youth projects. A recent Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, request revealed disturbing accounting practices linked to a grant overseen by Woods, including a payment of over $66,000 to Anthony Butler without clear justification, raising further red flags. These financial irregularities suggest that Henyard's troubles may be more extensive than just missed rent payments, hinting at deeper systemic issues in her administration. As questions arise about how public money is being allocated, especially in programs meant to benefit the community, frustration and suspicion among Dalton residents are growing. In response to the mounting controversy, Henyard has framed the situation as a politically motivated smear campaign orchestrated by her opponents. She claims she is under attack from a corrupt board of trustees intent on undermining her leadership and subverting the will of the people. However, maintaining this narrative is becoming increasingly difficult as evidence of her financial dealings continues to surface amid ongoing investigations. Her defiant stance, positioning herself as the victim of a politically charged conspiracy, is losing traction with the public. Sentiment in Dalton has taken a sharp turn against her, with residents who once held high hopes for her leadership now expressing vocal discontent. Some have even gone so far as to label her America's worst mayor. Trust in her administration has eroded significantly, especially as revelations about her alleged financial mismanagement come to light. Henyard's administration, initially buoyed by promises of transparency and progress, now finds itself mired in controversy, facing accusations of corruption, financial malpractice, and a disregard for the public good. As investigations into her financial practices intensify, the spotlight is increasingly on her leadership and the integrity of her administration. Meanwhile, Dalton residents are left grappling with the consequences of Henyard's actions. They are questioning the integrity of their local government and demanding accountability from a mayor whose once promising narrative now seems hollow in the face of turmoil. With public sentiment turning against her and allegations of financial misconduct mounting, the future of Henyard's leadership remains uncertain, leaving the community to ponder the implications of her actions on their governance and trust in local officials.
That's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel.
Tiffany Henyard's financial controversies are escalating, with new revelations captivating public attention. Beyond her rent issues and grant mismanagement, Henyard is now facing a federal investigation into her overall financial practices. The FBI is reportedly scrutinizing her alleged misuse of taxpayer funds, particularly concerning her extensive security detail, which has cost Dalton hundreds of thousands of dollars in police overtime. Allegations have emerged that some of this taxpayer-funded security was used while Henyard was out of town, raising serious questions about whether public resources were misappropriated for personal trips. If true, this could signify a significant misuse of funds and a blatant disregard for responsible financial management. The public is outraged by these allegations, especially as Dalton grapples with dire financial straits. Residents are frustrated to see their mayor allegedly leading a luxurious lifestyle funded by the very taxpayers she was elected to serve. Reports have surfaced of her flying first class on public funds, which has only intensified the criticism. In a town struggling with financial mismanagement, the image of a mayor enjoying luxury travel at taxpayers' expense has become a focal point for public ire. This isn't the first time Henyard's spending habits have come under fire, but the involvement of federal investigators marks a new and serious chapter in the scandal. What began as whispers of financial mismanagement has snowballed into a full-blown crisis, with the possibility of criminal charges looming. The timing is particularly unfortunate for Henyard, who is already facing intense scrutiny from both residents and local trustees for her handling of town finances. The allegations of lavish spending and misuse of taxpayer money have cast a long shadow over her administration, leading many to question her fitness for office. Moreover, her perceived lack of accountability and transparency exacerbates public frustration. As her legal troubles mount alongside growing discontent, the picture for Henyard's political future looks increasingly bleak. The federal investigation, especially the FBI's focus on her questionable use of security funding, could have dire consequences. The claim that she allegedly used taxpayer money for personal comfort while out of town raises serious ethical concerns, which could lead to legal repercussions. In an era where public trust and leadership are paramount, Henyard's actions have created a deep divide between her and the constituents she was elected to represent. As the investigation progresses, it appears increasingly likely that this scandal will have lasting repercussions, not only for Henyard's career, but also for the town of Dalton itself. With the FBI involved, the situation has escalated beyond local politics, placing Henyard at the center of a growing controversy that could destabilize her administration. The investigation into her use of taxpayer funds, particularly regarding her security detail, may prove to be the tipping point for a mayor already ensnared in scandal. If the allegations are substantiated, Henyard's legacy could become one of financial recklessness and betrayal of public trust, an outcome that would tarnish her time in office and potentially lead to legal consequences. The residents of Dalton are watching closely as the investigation unfolds, with many demanding accountability and answers. For Henyard, the road ahead is fraught with uncertainty. Her financial mismanagement, questionable spending, and potential misuse of taxpayer funds have placed her political career and personal integrity in jeopardy. The ongoing saga surrounding Tiffany Henyard, mayor of Dalton, serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of transparency and responsible governance. As the community grapples with the implications of her actions, the question remains: can she regain the trust of her constituents, or will this scandal mark the end of her political ambitions? The stakes are high, and the fallout from this investigation could resonate far beyond Henyard's tenure, impacting the very fabric of Dalton's local governance. The ongoing controversies surrounding Tiffany Henyard have left the community and observers both bewildered and frustrated. How did someone elected to serve and lead her town become so deeply embroiled in scandal after scandal? Central to these issues is the apparent misuse of taxpayer funds, which has sparked both local outrage and a federal investigation. Henyard's administration has faced allegations of financial mismanagement, ranging from her handling of public grants to the misuse of town resources. Reports suggest that her financial practices have raised concerns about whether this is merely a case of poor judgment or something more sinister. The public is demanding answers, and rightly so. Where is all the taxpayer money going? Recent controversies indicate that Henyard's financial mismanagement extends beyond missed rent payments and questionable grant allocations. Serious questions now surround her use of town resources for personal gain. One alarming allegation is that she may have funded her private security detail with public money, costing Dalton hundreds of thousands of dollars. This detail was reportedly utilized during her personal trips out of town, prompting concerns about whether Henyard is prioritizing her interests over the needs of the community. These allegations, along with reports of her flying first class on taxpayer funds, have further soured public opinion, painting Henyard as disconnected from the financial struggles faced by her constituents. Many in the community feel betrayed. She was elected with promises of improving Dalton's future, yet the town's financial situation has worsened under her leadership. The involvement of the FBI adds a layer of seriousness to the situation, as federal investigators scrutinize Henyard's financial practices. If the allegations of misuse of taxpayer funds are proven true, Henyard could face charges that would not only end her political career, but also damage the community's trust in their elected officials. Her personal integrity is also under question as the scandals mount. As the investigation unfolds, residents are left wondering how things became so chaotic. Was this a series of bad decisions, or is there something more intentional at play? The public's trust in elected officials is fragile. Once broken, it can be nearly impossible to restore. Henyard's situation highlights broader concerns about accountability in local government and the critical need for transparency in managing public funds. The people of Dalton deserve answers regarding the financial chaos that threatens to engulf their town. They want to know why the town's financial resources appear to be mismanaged and why the mayor's personal expenses are under scrutiny. This raises another important question. Can Tiffany Henyard recover from this political turmoil, or is this the beginning of the end for her career? It's hard to see how a mayor facing such intense scrutiny from both the public and federal investigators can successfully rebuild her political standing. As it stands, public perception of her leadership is deeply tarnished, and trust in her ability to guide the town out of its financial mess is at an all-time low. The fallout from these scandals may ultimately be too significant for Henyard to overcome. In times of crisis, strong leadership is essential, yet Henyard's administration appears to be unraveling under the weight of its own controversies. The federal investigation is likely to continue for some time, and with each new revelation, the pressure on Henyard only intensifies. For the residents of Dalton, the situation feels increasingly dire, as they seek accountability and transparency from the leadership they once trusted. Tiffany Henyard's ongoing controversies have left the Dalton community and observers feeling bewildered and frustrated. Many are grappling with a sense of betrayal, as her actions have called into question the very principles of trust, accountability, and good governance. The pressing question remains, how did someone elected to lead her town become so deeply embroiled in scandal after scandal? At the heart of these issues lies the apparent misuse of taxpayer funds, which has sparked local outrage and triggered a federal investigation. Henyard's administration has been marked by allegations of financial mismanagement, encompassing her handling of public grants, the misuse of town resources, and even reports of a federal investigation into her personal spending habits. These claims raise serious concerns about whether this situation reflects poor judgment or something more sinister. The public is demanding answers, and rightfully so. The fundamental question on everyone's mind is simple: where is all the taxpayer money going? Recent controversies suggest that Henyard's financial mismanagement extends well beyond missed rent payments and questionable grant allocations. Serious concerns have arisen about her use of town resources for personal gain. One particularly alarming allegation is that she may have used public money to fund her own private security detail, costing Dalton hundreds of thousands of dollars. Reports indicate that this detail was even utilized during her personal trips out of town, raising significant questions about the appropriate use of taxpayer funds and whether the mayor is prioritizing her interests over the town's needs. These allegations, coupled with reports of Henyard flying first class on the public's dime, have further soured public opinion. Many residents feel disconnected from a mayor seemingly indifferent to the financial struggles they face daily. Henyard was elected with promises of improving Dalton's future, yet the town's financial situation has only deteriorated under her leadership. The FBI's involvement adds a grave layer of seriousness to the situation as federal investigators scrutinize Henyard's financial practices. If the allegations of misuse of taxpayer funds are proven true, she could face charges that might not only end her political career, but also irreparably damage the trust of the Dalton community. It's not just her political future at stake. Her personal integrity is being called into question as the scandals continue to mount. As the investigation unfolds, residents are left wondering how things escalated to this point. Was this a series of bad decisions, or is there something more intentional at play? The public's trust in elected officials is fragile. Once broken, it can be nearly impossible to restore. Henyard's situation highlights broader concerns about accountability in local government and the critical need for transparency in handling public funds. The residents of Dalton deserve clear answers regarding the financial chaos that threatens to engulf their town. They want to know why the town's financial resources seem to be mismanaged and why the mayor's personal expenses are under scrutiny. This raises another important question. Can Tiffany Henyard recover from this political turmoil, or is this the beginning of the end for her career? Given the intense scrutiny from both the public and federal investigators, it's difficult to envision how a mayor in her position can successfully rebuild her political standing. Currently, public perception of her leadership is deeply tarnished, and trust in her ability to guide the town out of its financial mess is at an all-time low. The fallout from these scandals may ultimately be too overwhelming for Henyard to overcome. In times of crisis, strong leadership is essential, yet Henyard's administration appears to be unraveling under the weight of its own controversies. The federal investigation is likely to continue for some time, and with each new revelation, the pressure on Henyard intensifies. For Dalton residents, the situation feels like a profound betrayal, as their mayor's actions call into question the very principles that underpin effective governance. Many are now left wondering if this is the final chapter in Henyard's political career, or if she will find a way to weather the storm. Regardless of the outcome, the people of Dalton deserve better answers, better leadership, and better management of their town's resources. As this story unfolds, one thing is clear. Henyard's future in politics hangs precariously in the balance, and the community's trust is at stake. The coming months will determine whether she can salvage her administration, or if the scandals will mark the end of her political aspirations.